Welcome to Grocery from Her Seat, the WGA podcast offering a unique perspective as seen through the eyes of remarkable women who shape and lead in the independent grocery industry. Your host, Kristen Popp, president of WGA, will bring you exclusive stories and insights from the women serving our industry, from presidents to CEOs to entrepreneurs and students. This podcast is your source of information. Now listen, take notes, and welcome Kristen Popp.
I am your host, Kristen Popp, and today I have the opportunity to chat with Jennifer Graff, Director of Perishable Operations with Columbiana Foods Inc. Welcome to Grocery from Her Seat, Jennifer, and thank you so very much for sharing your time with us today.
Thank you, Kristen, for having me on.
Jennifer, let's talk about how you got involved in the industry.
I started as a cashier in '89. I worked my way through the store and I learned, our deli and our bakery, cake decorating, floral prep foods, video. That's back when the stores had videos, right? We used to have little eagle's nests, which were daycares. I got promoted to director of Perishable Operations around 2012. I got more involved with NGA and WGA around 2014. I became more involved with WGA when they switched their agenda to learning and more female empowerment and celebrating women in the industry. I think a big part of that, Kristen, is the networking that helped me with my growth in my leadership.
I think that's a great call out on the networking and the impact that can have.
For me, it's a big thing. I tell everybody, talking to people like myself who's in the same situation and we're up against the same problems, it just makes you feel a little bit like, because it's not just me and in this industry together.
Mm-hmm. You've been in the industry for a little bit and you've kind of worked your way to where you are today and navigated through different positions and everything. So along your journey, what has inspired you to continue your career and remain in the industry?
I think just knowing that everybody has to eat and being part of that. In this industry, like I said earlier, everything's changing. I love change. I love being creative and I like using my outlet of creativity in merchandising with my teams as well. I mean, I say it every day. We get to service our community. We do one of the best jobs in the world, right? Everybody has to eat, so we make sure that we're feeding them wholesome, healthy foods that we're preparing in our stores, as well as that we're selling in our stores.
It's a good call out that number one, you like change, so you're working in a very dynamic, diverse industry. And then number two, that you like to be creative.
Absolutely. I mean, like my team will tell you, I'll be the first one. I love being down on the sales floor for Valentine's Day and working with the staff and Mother's Day and talking to the customers and selling and just helping them, fulfill their needs.
So, Jennifer, as we prep for the conversation today, you shared something that's not on your resume, but something that you are really proud of. Can you share what that is and the impact that has had on you?
Would say giving back locally, which is like our Akron Children's Hospital and like Joni Abdu Breast Care Center, like our local food bank. And then, but like I know I brought my daughter and we went and volunteered, and my husband one time we volunteered packing up cereal, which was super cool. And it also teaches your children to give back. We had staff come in throughout the day as well. I also did a walk for Alzheimer's, and I also coached cheerleading at our local school for 4 years and use a lot of your work aspects of coaching people and mentoring people, but when you're dealing with young people, it's a little different aspect.
I'm sure your children will remember that throughout their lives on the importance of giving back and how they can make an impact in somebody else's life by doing that and being a part of giving.
I hope that they do see the value in that as they get older and age.
So as we shift, Jennifer, I can't miss an opportunity to highlight one of the key milestones achievements from 2020.
I was named Woman of the Year, which I'm very proud to say that. It does show my daughters that anything is possible when you put your mind to it. And it shows young women in our industry and in our stores that when you put your mind to something, what you can achieve.
Absolutely. And congratulations on that award. It's absolutely well deserved. Throughout our careers, Jennifer, we have opportunities to connect with many especially in our industry, which is so driven by relationships, as we touched on earlier. Are you able to share, do you have some individuals throughout your journey who have left a lasting impact on you? And if so, in what way have they impacted you?
We were talking about networking earlier, right? And Beverly Lynch. I met Beverly at the NGA show one year, and we got talking about networking and growth. And she inspired me to, never stop learning and how important it was for networking with people. My sister-in-law, Cheryl Shardle Graff, she also showed and taught me a lot of leadership skills and how to stand up for my boys. And she empowered me to be a very strong leader. She was always evolving our programs in our company. She supported me through everything, every program I may want to do with my team. And then last but probably not least is be my husband, because he showed me how to be a tough leader and the importance of the political advocacy that we both are involved in today. I learn something every day when we go to those DC meetings and talk to the NGA staff about what's happening and, how it's affecting our company every day.
Well, a couple call outs there. So Bev Lynch, the importance of continuing to learn and the opportunity to learn from others and the importance of that and what we share in those networking conversations is so important and so impactful to who we are. And then the work that you and your husband do and the advocacy meetings. Can you share a little bit further on what impact you've seen or why you believe those so important?
I think lots of times your politicians don't really understand what goes into our businesses and how surprised they are by the numbers and the information that we give them.
Creating awareness. When you're talking to representatives, there's an awareness of what is from a higher level, but when you're able to get into the weeds and how it impacts on a day-to-day business and the story of how it impacts the consumer at the register. And I think those are such powerful conversations to have with representatives to bring awareness. And once they start kind of hearing the in the weeds conversations and stories and impacts, that really drives some change, real raw conversations about how we can move forward and really look at things in a different light.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you and Ron, your husband, do participate in the fly-in and the executive conference and the Hill visits and everything. There's also opportunities at the local level to have those conversations and store visits. Have you participated in any of those or had the opportunity to do that?
Yeah, we actually did one last year. And we actually had our congressman in, and he bagged groceries, made pizza with us. He worked in our deli. He talked to our customers. It was a great experience. And it's good for them to see what's happening in the communities that they're servicing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that really leaves an impact and lets them see things through a different lens. As we look at the industry today, Jennifer, 2025 as a whole, what do you feel we should be keeping an eye on right now?
I'd say change, automation, technology, those type of things.
Anything specific with technology?
We use the AI now. It's going to get interesting to see what ChatGPT is going to do for the industry and maybe help us. I'm more interested to see how that's going to expand.
I am as well, and how we can utilize it most effectively in what we do. Yeah. What excites you the most, Jennifer, about the future of the industry?
I think what excites me the most are the new trends. Every day I'm looking for new trends and what's coming. Like I said earlier, technology isn't really my best friend. I accept it. I look forward to using it and learning new skills because I love learning and I love change. But I think more the new trends and every time I look at an email and there's a new product coming out, I'm like calling the manager, when are we getting that? So those are the things that I look forward to.
It is ever-changing landscape when it comes to trends and forward-looking. So I'll also join you in excitement to see what that looks like in the upcoming year. Jennifer, what advice do you have for someone that's aspiring to join or advance their career if they're already in the industry?
I'd say just be patient. Nothing happens overnight. Ask questions, but it's worth waiting and being able to service your communities and giving back. And there's so many job opportunities in the grocery industry, which I think a lot of people just don't realize.
If you're not aware of everything that goes into getting food to shelf, to understand the magnitude of opportunities and career paths in the grocery industry is endless. But if you're not in it, you don't necessarily understand that, right? So the landscape of opportunities is abundant.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Is there any advice that somebody has given you along your journey that has stuck with you?
I would say the advice would be back to just networking and being involved.
Jennifer, as we look to wrap up today, I have a question, one final question for you. If you were writing a book or creating a podcast about the industry today, what would the title be?
It is more than just groceries. It's a lifestyle. And I know that's so broad. I think of this because I think everyone has to sit down together and eat a meal. I think it's the time that you can have a real conversation with your children and your family. Sometimes we just get so wrapped up in everyday life, social media, our phones, right, technology. It's nice just to slow down, enjoy a meal with people that you love. Not only that, I think it could even be, a meal on a Sunday with your family or friends over for wine and charcuterie, but just think about the impact that food brings people together. To me, that is so important.
I love it. I think it'd be fantastic. Jennifer, thank you so very much for sharing your time and your thoughts with us today. I appreciate you, your story, and your contribution to the industry. Thank you for your valuable insights, and I look forward to watching you continue to make a difference in all you do.
Thank you, Kristen, for having me, of course. I appreciate everything you do, and you also inspire me.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. To our guests, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. We hope you enjoyed the discussion as much as we did. If you found value, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and never miss an episode. If you have a moment, we'd appreciate if you could leave a review on your favorite listening platform to help others discover Grocery from Her Seat. Until next time, keep making a difference in all you do.
On behalf of the Women Grocers of America, we thank you for listening to our podcast today and ask that you subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share with a friend. If you have a suggestion for a guest from the industry, mention them in the comments. Episodes are released every other week, and they are sponsored by NGA, hosted by Kristen Popp, president of WGA, and published by Rachel Milo with SWA Marketing.
I am your host, Kristen Popp, and today I have the opportunity to chat with Jennifer Graff, Director of Perishable Operations with Columbiana. Say it again.
Columbiana Foods.
Columbiana. Let me spell this out. I want to keep saying Columbiana.
I know. Columbiana.
Okay, we're going to try this again. It wasn't supposed to be me that's having the problem. All right, ready?